Okay. Good afternoon, honored guests, parents, loved ones, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome the HSE instructors. Dutchess Community College's high school equivalency, formerly known as GED program, began in 1991 to address our community's concern with decreased student retention rates in local high schools. At its inception, the high school equivalency program served an estimated 20 students at one single location on our main campus. With a growing demand for classes, the program expanded with more classroom hours in 11 locations throughout Dutchess County. DCC then responded to an increase in Latino residents in Dutchess County by offering agency classes in Spanish. In 2015, New York State introduced Common Core, which changed the way HC was taught for the past 20 years. In September 2016, Dutchess Community College launched a new site at the Family Partnership Center in the city of Poughkeepsie, where the college's Office of Community Services and Special Programs offers English as a Second Language, ESL, high school equivalency, HSE, pharmacy technician, and security guard classes. DCC at the Family Partnership will be expanding its offerings to include healthcare courses and additional professional and vocational courses. The high school equivalency program and English as a Second Language program combined served approximately 2,500 students per year. The college's admissions office has a regular presence at the site to assist students interested in transitioning to an associate's degree program. Please, let's welcome our graduates led by Assistant Dean Troy Adams.
Thank you. At this time, we will ask Senior Airman Alice Rienzo of the United States Air Force and also HSC instructor to come forward and lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Please rise. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. just want to welcome each and every one of you here this evening to share in this very important moment in the lives of our students, your family, your friends, and your loved ones. Before we proceed with tonight's program, I would like to introduce some of our guests on stage. Firstly, I would like to introduce Dr. Pamela Eddington, the president of Dutchess Community College. Seated next to Dr. Eddington is Dr. Holly Malella, who is our Dean of Academic Services. Also, we have Ms. Joan Crawford, who is the Executive Director of Family Services. We have Dean and Associate Vice President of Community Services and Special Programs, Virginia Stoffel. And our community partners from left to right, we have Mr. Michael Love from Hudson River Community Center. We have Mr. William Artis representing Nubian Directions. We have Mr. Khalil Kodomanti, the coordinator of Nubian Directions. We have Ms. Hilary Hines, who is the Fiscal Administrator of Nubian Directions. And we also have Mr. Robert Wright, who is the Executive Director of Nubian Directions. And this evening would not be complete if I didn't introduce to you our HSC instructors. Please stand to be acknowledged, all the instructors. Thank you very much. There's also a very important thing that I have to do, but I want to find Lynette, my assistant. She's always hiding somewhere. Lynette, where are you? Hi, Lynette. Everything that is happening here this evening would not be possible if it was not for the hard work and dedication of Lynette Patrice. She does this every year, and I don't know how she does it. So, Lynette, at this time, I'm going to ask you to come forward because we have a special surprise for you. At this time, we're going to ask Dr. Malella to come forward and extend welcome on behalf of the college.
Hello, everyone. It is my great honor to bring greetings to all of you on behalf of Dutchess Community College Administration. This is certainly a time to celebrate the achievements of the HSE graduating class of 2018. A great Chinese philosopher once said, "A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step." To the graduates, the completion of your time and effort here at DCC is not only a step forward, it is a step that represents a great change in your life. You didn't have to work hard every day in order to be here today as a graduate. You chose to, because deep inside your heart, you knew that your education will take you far. Look around you. The people sitting around you may not have been the people you started this program with. Some people didn't make it. It may not have been their time yet, but you are here and this is your time. Give yourselves a big round of applause. I'm always excited to be here because this great achievement of yours requires three things as far as I'm concerned: discipline, commitment, and courage. The discipline to go to class after a hard day's work or maybe just after having a bad day. The commitment to complete the required homework when there are certainly other things that you could have or wanted to do instead of studying and completing the assignments. And the courage to take the next step to acquire the necessary education to enable you to move forward with your personal and professional goals. All of these characteristics have empowered everyone that participated in this program. I have a few statistics for all of you graduates and also those in the audience. Did you know the following things about HSE graduates? Our HSE graduates earn at least an average of $7,000 more each year than a worker without an HSE or diploma and are much less likely to be unemployed. Are more apt also to be employed full-time, have the opportunity to go to college after this or technical school, are qualified for greater responsibilities and promotions, are likely to receive job-specific technical skills training, and also can help their own children achieve in school. Life is a journey, and sometimes the journey is not what you planned, but somehow you all got here. I am sure it was with the help and support of friends, teachers, significant others, but you were ready and willing to commit and work hard. I love graduations because they symbolize a time where we as a community celebrate all of the hard work that has been accomplished, and we look to the future with an optimistic attitude. We look to the future ready to solve the challenges of our generation. To all you graduates, go forth and believe in yourself. Keep setting goals and work towards them. This is really only the beginning of what you can do. We at DCC are so very proud of your accomplishments and wish you the best as you continue to set goals for yourself and strive towards them. Have confidence in yourself, aim high, the world is yours. Congratulations, class of 2018.
The Office of Community Services and Special Programs, we register at least 8,000 to 10,000 students per year, 8,000 to 10,000 students per year. And this would not be possible without good and strong leadership. At this time, we're going to ask our Dean, Virginia Stoffel, to come forward and extend greetings.
Thank you, Troy. I'd like to say welcome and good evening to our graduates, their family, their friends, and our community partners, and all the guests that are with us tonight. We are so pleased that you're with us tonight, because tonight is an opportunity to celebrate our graduates and their great achievement. We look forward and have watched as you, as graduates, have been so brave to make the first step to come back to college and to take on an HSE program. We celebrate all of your commitment and your dedication, because regardless of all the obstacles and that life has thrown in your way, and we know there have been many, you continued and persevered and graduated. You've successfully completed and sat for the New York State task exam, and now you have achieved a major educational milestone in your life with the award of the high school equivalency diploma. I'd like to speak on behalf of our teachers and our staff in community service that are with us tonight. We want you, each of you, to know how very proud we are of you. We've seen your dedication every day as you face the challenges both in the classroom and outside, and you never gave up. We've watched as you've grown to become successful students that we are so proud of. You inspire us every day, and it's been our pleasure to work with you. We want to wish you every success as you go forward in this bright new future that you've created for yourself. And we look forward to welcoming you back at the college again soon as you begin your next journey with us. So what we'd like to say to each of you tonight, on the behalf of all of us here, is congratulations on a job well done. Tonight, I'd also like to bring, to share another congratulatory message, a letter that we've received from Senator Sue Serino, who would like to share a letter with you. Dear class of 2008, today is a day that will live with you for the rest of your lives. The feeling that you had when you began your journey to obtain your GED diploma may have been one of self-doubt. Your inner voice may have said that it could not have been done. At times, the voice may have been so loud that you yourself believed that it would not. I know these things because I, like you, had those feelings when I was studying myself for my GED. Yet, here you are today, as I was at the end of a long road, proudly standing proudly as you are, where you receive this beautiful piece of paper that you will serve as a reminder to the rest of your life that you can do anything you set your mind to. Every story in this room is different, but they all have the same happy ending. People say that you may be an exception because that you overcame what seemed like insurmountable challenges and beat the odds to be here today. While you have overcome some tremendous obstacles, you are not the exception. You are an example of so many that people can follow. I cannot wait to see where the future takes you. Congratulations to the class of 2018, and I wish you every success in your future. Senator Sue Serino.
Thank you, Dean Stoffel, and thank you also to Senator Sue Serino. Our HSC program is not just taught in English, it is also taught in Spanish. And what is interesting is that while we were going through the preparation stages for this ceremony, it was mentioned to us that, well, wouldn't it be good to have someone speak to our Spanish students in Spanish? Which is quite different from what we have been doing over the years. But given that the college is moving in a new direction where we are now embracing diversity and inclusion, I thought it would be quite fitting for us to include our Spanish students in this year's graduation ceremony. So at this time, I'm going to ask HSC instructor Julia Sacosila, who has been teaching HSC in Spanish with us for over 10 years, to come forward and extend greetings to our Spanish students.
Autoridades presentes, estimados compañeros y compañeras, profesores y profesoras, señores padres de familia, queridos graduados y graduadas, invitados todos, bienvenidos a esta ceremonia de graduación que ofrece la Oficina de Servicios a la Comunidad de Dutchess Community College. En su programa de educación para adultos hacia la obtención del diploma de equivalencia de high school en este país, Estados Unidos. Agradezco la oportunidad de nuestro jefe, Adam Troy, de dirigirme a ustedes en este día tan especial para nuestra institución, nuestro programa, nuestros profesores, nuestros graduados y especialmente para los orgullosos padres y familiares que están aquí presentes en este día. En honor al tiempo que se me ha concedido, más que dejarles un bonito, largo discurso, quiero resumir mis palabras expresándoles nuestra más sincera felicitación por haber concluido esta etapa educativa. De igual manera, quiero expresarles nuestra más grande admiración y orgullo por haber ustedes logrado obtener lo que en algún momento de sus vidas les pareció muy difícil de alcanzar, debido al gran esfuerzo y al sacrificio que representa el compromiso de llegar a las clases después de cumplir una diaria jornada de trabajo y especialmente el cuidado de su querida familia. Me permito hacer eco de una frase de la escritora poetisa estadounidense Emily Dickinson que dice: si se quiere viajar lejos, no hay mejor nave que un libro. El lenguaje figurado que utiliza Emily Dickinson nos da a entender que esa nave literalmente hablando, representa la educación que ustedes decidieron iniciar, representa la nave que ustedes decidieron abordar. Nos motiva, aquella nave nos motiva, nos llena a todos, nos encausa, nos hace pensar, nos da conocimiento, nos da poder. Y cuando digo poder, no me refiero al dinero, sino a empoderar a ese ser humano que tenemos dentro, en el sentido de la valoración y el amor propio, que muchas veces nos olvidamos hacia darnos a nosotros mismos. Mis compañeros y yo, y todo Dutchess Community College, consideramos que este gran logro de ustedes nos demuestra a los profesores que siempre fue nuestra intención inculcarles que la educación es acción, la educación es cambio, la educación es despertar, es valorarse, es empoderarse, para así ser capaces de ayudar a empoderar a otros y a otras. Desde el fondo de mi corazón les digo a ustedes que el diploma de GED que obtienen hoy constituye su mejor herramienta de superación personal, ya que les motivará a continuar en esa nave de la que nos habla Emily Dickinson. En este mensaje les digo que para seguir adelante en este nuevo futuro que ustedes se han trazado, hagan uso, estimados graduados, de la empatía, la cual es una fuerza que salva vidas y toca la vida de otros. Úsenla para demostrar su gran sensibilidad, su gran sentido de solidaridad hacia sus semejantes. No puedo dejar de mencionar que con este logro alcanzado, ustedes también han conseguido cumplir con sus padres y familiares aquí presentes, al proporcionarles este momento de verles en su graduación. Lo que les aseguro, los va a hacer sentir muy orgullosos y van a pensar que no fue en vano el sacrificio que ellos realizaron por ustedes. Así, cuando ustedes tengan su propia familia, o a los que ya la tienen, tendrán los mismos sueños, serán capaces de reconocer más fácilmente la importancia de dejar a sus hijos e hijas la mejor herencia que puedan tener en la vida, como es la educación. Continúen en ese viaje, no paren. Háganos saber de sus futuros logros, porque sí se puede. Querer es poder. Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, Sadira Sakisila. We all have dreams, but sometimes our dreams are deferred by life's challenges. But if we remain positive and embark on a journey to make our dreams come true, we will most definitely triumph in the end, as we can see here today. Patricia Mann, one of our HSC students, she's on a quest to fulfill her lifelong dream to become an attorney. And our HSC is just one of the many stepping stones that brings her much closer to her dream. Today we have Patricia Mann here with us, and she's going to come forward to share her dream with us. Let's welcome Patricia.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, family and friends. I stand before you a young woman who has embarked on a journey that has brought me to this very stage. It was a very long road, one that at times seemed unpaved and full of detours, but somehow I managed to find my way. I was determined to keep one foot in front of the other and refuse to look back despite my life circumstances. Don't get me wrong, I am human and at times felt defeated and lost, but I always was reminded by my family and teachers that my goals were far greater than any obstacle trying to stop me from doing what I set out to do. Since I was a little girl, I had dreams of becoming a lawyer and traveling. I always felt I was destined to do great things, and I knew above anything else I wanted to help people. As a child, my family and I moved frequently, and I found it hard to fit in, make friends, and feel like I belonged to a particular place or a group of friends. My sense of not belonging led me to experience some problems in middle school. I struggled with living as the shadow of my sister, as well as being bullied. School became a war zone for me. At all costs, I avoided the work, the people, the atmosphere. I did anything not to have to be at school. I slowly began to say goodbye to my childhood dreams and buried them. I felt like a lost soul, nobody with nowhere to go. By the time I reached high school, things escalated, and I felt like I was living in a cyclone of chaos. My academics were suffering so much. I was placed on academic probation in my sophomore year. In order to be compliant with the order, I had to attend school every day for a year. If I violated probation, I would be sent to a residential living facility for juveniles. This was a turning point in my life. I knew I didn't want to be separated from my family. The young woman who had surrendered to turmoil and despair began to search for the little girl she once was. It was a trying task, but the two did find one another. The dreaming little girl became the voice of reason that wouldn't stop whispering in my ear. I found a new energy and life purpose I didn't know I carried inside of me. I became a warrior looking to win the battle of my life. For a moment, I did. Faithfully, I went to school every day, successfully completing my probation. I was able to advance to my junior year. My victory would be short-lived, as there would be more barriers to knock down. During my sophomore year, I became very depressed. My depression came to me all too very sudden. I thank my anxiety for that. It felt like the world was against me and no one was there for me. There were many different things that were going on in my life at this point in time. It all started to happen when I found out that my sister had been sent away to St. Anne's. I wouldn't be seeing her for a very long time, even though I felt like I was hiding in my sister's shadow. She was the one that I can go to, always was there for me no matter what the circumstances. Shortly after that, I moved with my mom and from being with my grandparents for 11 years, back to the same old song and dance, not knowing anyone and being a stranger. It was hard, a new school, new routine, new people. My anxiety was so bad that when I got to school, I would either stay by my mom's side all day or I would leave early. This was far from typical behavior for a sophomore in high school. Anxiety, depression, fear, resentment were the fuel driving down a path of uncertainty and doom. Eventually, my mom grew tired of my behavior and found out the reason of why I was acting so irrational, scared, unsure, and alone. We talked about it, and my mom researched ways to help me cope, but I never took any of it. It was like my mom's plea for the return of her daughter fell on deaf ears. My depression was like a weed and overtook all emotions and thoughts. Depression had become me, I had become depression. We soaked in the pain of thoughts and love for one another. Eventually, I began to self-harm. Self-harm for me was a release of pain. Sounds crazy, I'm not releasing my pain by inflicting pain. Unless you have ever hit rock bottom and felt like you had nothing else or anyone else to hold on to, you can't begin to understand. My self-injuries behavior led me to a hospitalization program. One of the key turning points in my life happened while in the hospitalization program. One of my best friends attempted to take her life in front of the patients, including myself. In that moment, I saw myself in her. I was scared for her, her family, me, my family, and everyone else sharing the same story. My eyes were wide open, and for the first time, I could really see. The urgency and desire to be better and to do better began to conquer the anxiety and depression. I knew I needed a positive change, a fresh start. I wanted more from my life, desired for my family to be proud of me. The fact that I had so many little ones in my family became my focus, my guiding star. I needed to be a role model, and that is what I set out to do and will continue to do. The Youth Build Nubian Directions became an influential force in my plan to be successful. Not only was it a place to go for education and training, but I formed a whole new family and friendship. My first day was especially hard because of my anxiety, but I didn't want to end up the way I was in school, so I had to keep that mindset. It was completely different from the start. The staff were amazing, and they made it not easy but fun to learn to get your education. They made you learn right away and made sure that you stayed on focus. I had 3 teachers. 2 main teachers were for academics and 1 was for construction. My 2 teachers for academics were fun and they knew what I needed right away. As my construction teacher, Mr. Will, he's just the best. He's always there when I need him, and even when I feel like I don't need him, he's always there to reach out for me. We're a family. No matter what happens, we're always there for each other. Mr. Will is such a big part of my life because he helped me get out of my depression that wasn't for 2 weeks. I felt myself relapsing, and he pulled me back up. He came to my house and got me out of bed and brought me to Nubian, where he knew I would snap out of it because of my friends and family at Nubian. Ever since I found my potential to do positive things like that for my life, I went on to getting multiple certifications and also becoming president of my Youth Build group. I'm going to be honest, I would have never seen myself here today on this very stage graduating. We all go through our rough spots in life, and I've had plenty of them, as I am sure I will have more to come. I was 16 when I decided to change the course of my life. Here I am, 17-year-old young woman graduating with her HSC, enrolled in college prep courses with plans to attend college in Florida. I didn't let my circumstances dictate my outcome of my life. It was a hard-fought battle, one of many I will have, as we all will. I worked extremely hard to get here today. It took me 6 weeks to get my diploma. Never took the exam before, but I was on a mission and success was the only option. How ironic, the girl who hated school and dropped out yet was able to finish my HSC in 6 weeks. We all go through a stage of failure or feeling like we are never going to amount to anything. I'm here with all of you that stand with me to tell all the Patricias in the world, move with 1 foot forward. Know you are loved, believe in yourself, and know that each tomorrow is another chance to do better and be better. It's never too late, no matter your age or life situation. Let's all take a moment to congratulate ourselves for where we are right now, but more importantly, we must acknowledge our family, friends, teacher, colleagues, and community for motivating us and helping steer us here. To this very moment, one honor, glory, and accomplishments. My wish for all of you is that life becomes all you want it to be, your dreams stay big, your worries small, may you never carry more than you can handle. And while you're out there doing what you need and getting to where you want to go, I hope you know somebody loves you and you are not alone. Do not stop here, fellow graduates. The sky is the limit. From here, you can only go up. Congratulations, class of 2018.
Thank you, Patricia. Indeed, sometimes we feel like we don't have it all together, and sometimes we feel like there is no place for us. But it's not until we realize our true potential that we start to shine. Symphony Mitchell, one of our HSC graduates, is here with us today to share her experience with us in the form of poetry. Symphony?
Good afternoon, everybody. Some may see a pretty face and assume you got it all together. No loose screws, you don't know we get the worst weather. If you could step in my 2 shoes, you would wish for better. Now I stand in these 2 shoes and my day's been better. Now I stand in these 2 shoes to receive this letter, and I'm just in awe. After all the failure, all of the trial and error, I still kept it intact. I never lost track. I came across a few people who had my back, and with those people being Nubian directions, as a result, this is my reflection. This was the best fit for me as someone who was hesitant on being stuck with the dropout label after coming to the realization that high school wasn't for me. But I wasn't ready to be completely alone starting a new process versus all the support and guidance offered in high school. This was the only option that seemed to smoothly transition me into a new process while having the same support, if not more, than what I had in high school. I highly recommend this program for anyone in search of a plan B. Besides having assistance reaching my goals academically, I was able to one by one knock down any barriers that hindered me from doing my best. With the support of NDI and the HSE program, I was also inspired to walk in the fact that my challenges do not define me. Thank you.
Thank you, Symphony. Your HSC diploma opens bright futures for you. Whether you're proficient in English or not, the HSC diploma will open doors for you. With the HSC diploma, if you're not proficient in English, you can continue on to take ESL classes and from there go on to college and do whatever you want to do. Here with us today is Amber Arias, and she's going to share her experiences with you. Please welcome Amber.
Thank you. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to start by congratulating all the graduates. So please, let us give them a round of applause, please. Dear graduates, I know the excitement and happiness that you all are feeling at this moment because not long ago, I was one of you guys. I was sitting right there where you are, waiting to be called to finally walk through the stage and conclude my graduation. I was totally thrilled by the moment, and I probably even dropped some tears when I imagined the future ahead of me after getting my GED diploma. I thought of the career I wanted to study, and the English courses that I finally could take, because when I graduated from the English program, from the GED program, I could only speak Spanish, and of course, I needed English in order to succeed in my plans. Therefore, right after my graduation, I started to take English courses with DCC, of course, and after those courses, around a year later, I was able to qualify to take college credits. So I did. I signed up to DCC, to the criminal justice major, and a year and a half later, I finally got my associates in the criminal justice career major, which was this May 17th. So yeah, everything started with the GED classes and being able to have the pleasure to be taught by these amazing professors, such as Professor Hector Leo, who's no longer in this program, but helped me to prepare for the GED exam back in the day. So thank you very much, Mr. Leo, for your hard work. And as I was saying, DCC has been one of the best experiences of my academic life. However, I could never have done it without first having my GED diploma. So that's how important this graduation is. This can be the beginning of the realization of your dreams. It only depends on you and your hard work. Do not let anything or anyone to stop you from achieving your goals. And with this being said, I will let the ceremony proceed, and I just want to say something else real quick. Para todas las familias hispanas que están aquí presentes acompañando a sus familiares graduándose, quiero decirles que deben sentirse muy orgullosos por el gran logro que están adquiriendo hoy sus familiares. Quiero decirles que esto no es el final, hay mucho más allá que pueden conseguir. Mírenme a mí, yo cuando me estaba graduando 3 años atrás nunca pensé que hoy podría estar dándoles un discurso aquí, y sin embargo, aquí estoy. Solo quiero decirles que en orden de conseguir eso tienen que ponerle mucho empeño y no detenerse, sobre todo, siempre perseverantes y sigan adelante porque sí se puede. Yo soy un ejemplo de ello y honestamente sin este programa no lo hubiera podido conseguir, pero también depende mucho en el esfuerzo que ustedes pongan. Así que gracias y adelante, por favor.
Thank you. Please join me in thanking all our students for their presentations tonight. And now it's my pleasure to introduce our commencement speaker, Joan Crawford. Joan is a licensed clinical social worker who's an accomplished human service executive with a proven record of leadership, innovation, and vision. She's served in a leadership capacity for over the past 20 years with passion and commitment. Joan is currently the Deputy Executive Director of Family Services, where she oversees all the programs of that agency. After graduating from Ulster Community College, Joan went on to receive her undergraduate social work degree from Marist. She received her master's in social work from Columbia University. Joan has been a recipient of a number of awards and recognitions, including the National Association of Social Workers, the New York State Social Worker Award of the Year, YWCA Tribute to Women Award, Ulster Community College Alumni Award, and the Excellence in Social Award from Marist College, and Joan was recently nominated as an Athena nominee. Joan has served on many local and state and national committees. Please join me in welcoming Joan Crawford.
Oops. I think I'll try the glasses. Thank you, everyone, for inviting me to participate in this celebration. It's a culmination of a commitment, and I know what an accomplishment it is. I remember the feeling, and I remember it was a big step, a big, wild step. And I say that because I think it was perhaps the first time in my life that I did something that made me feel like I was in charge of my own future. The feeling was exhilarating and scary at the same time. You see, I'd never given much thought to education. No one in my family had a high school diploma. No one ever thought about going to college. And I can tell you a lot of stories about the difficult life I had as a child, My dad was in jail, and I was in foster care and juvenile facilities. I came from a family that was crippled with substance abuse, all of those things. And it was tough. Much of it was not my fault, although some of it was, because I made some pretty poor decisions as a young adult. I left high school around the 9th grade, and I had a few different jobs when I left high school. I worked as a waitress. I even worked in a meat packing factory. I was talking to my kids about that this morning, and some other things. And I got by for a while. I had my first child when I was 19, my second child when I was 21, and by the time I was 22, I was a single mom. I left the boroughs of New York City and came up to the Hudson Valley, and I left the city with 2 kids and 1 suitcase. I had no car, I had no cash, but I had a whole lot of desperation. And I didn't want my 2 daughters to grow up the way I had. I wanted a better life for them. But I wasn't exactly sure how to do that. But I was sure that I would need a better job in order to take care of us. So it became clear to me pretty quickly that I wasn't going to get a better job unless I had a high school diploma. And I found a counselor who kind of pointed me in the right direction. She directed me to the local community college and told me I could get my GED there. Like I said, I was desperate. I was terrified and I was desperate. And I went to that community college, to the office that I was told to go to, and I sat in front of the desk with a very nice woman. I'll never forget her name. It's Johanna. And the first thing I did when I sat down was I started to cry. I couldn't believe that I had walked into a college. I knew I didn't belong there. I was never good in school, and I didn't think I could get a GED, and I apologized to Johanna. I said, I'm so sorry, I don't even know why I'm here. I went to get up, and she handed me a box of tissues, and in a very calm voice, she said, I assume that you're here because you want to get an education. Well, that actually hadn't occurred to me. I just wanted a better job. Well, Johanna spent about 2 hours with me that day, and by the end of those 2 hours, she had convinced me that not only could I get a better job, but I could get a better life. And I did. I got my GED. And I stayed at that community college, and I got my associate's degree in human services. That was the next big, wild step I took. I was so scared walking into that first college class with all those smart people. I felt like I didn't belong. I asked a million questions. The smart people, they didn't ask as many questions as I did. But after a while, they started coming to me saying, could you ask this question? Could you ask that question? And I realized that they weren't necessarily smarter than me. They were just more scared to ask questions than I was. So I finished those 2 years at community college, and they encouraged me to transfer to Marist College to earn a 4-year degree, and I did that. Then Marist convinced me I should go on to graduate school, and I applied to Columbia University, and I got accepted. And I graduated there with a master's degree. It wasn't easy, but I can promise you this, my life was a lot harder before I got an education. Well, as you can imagine, that was some time ago, and I'm still learning. I am truly a lifelong learner. I'm also a teacher. I'm a social worker. I'm the deputy executive director of an agency that I love. I've served as a professor. The first class I ever taught was right here at Dutchess Community College. I have my own consulting business and so many other things that make a rich life. My daughters are both grown now, both going to college. My oldest just graduated from Columbia University with her master's degree. My youngest is pursuing her education in the healthcare field. I have a beautiful life, more beautiful than I ever could have imagined. And for me, it was the GED that changed my life. Earning my GED, the commitment, the courage, but mostly the hope that my life could and would get better. That's the big, wild step, and all of you just took that. I don't know what the journey was that brought you here, what each of your struggles were, why you didn't finish high school in the traditional way, but I do know this. You only have one big, wild life. So I'm going to leave you with this. What are you going to do with your one big, wild life now? Thank you.
Thank you, Joan. At this time, I'm going to ask Samira and the ushers to come forward and get the students ready to receive their diplomas.
Angela Quinones. Caitlin Tolbert. Pedro Vasquez. Walter Teeter. Jessica Sosa Angeles. Ray Sean Chirac. Tylisha Scott. Jonathan Schoonmaker. Jillian Rowe. Shane Roberts. Eric Rodriguez. Crystal Rivera. Janice Richardson. Juan Perez. Maria Esperanza Nunez. Islam Nazla. Justin Negron. Jasmine Mariette. Gaveen Lewis. Anicia Crumry. Sylvia Courage. Nancy Jaimez Cordoba. Kiara Jackson. Jackie Ho. Jamae Higgs. Elixon Hernandez Sagustume. Kavasha Haylett. Estefani Gutierrez. Leanne Guglamino. Shanika Gray. Patricia Lynn Mann. Symphony Mitchell. Angelita Galindo. Milton Aguirre Salazar. Michael Brown. Cesar Bautista. Dixing Ma. Ian Clark. Alexia Colaro. Alexis Cooper. Karina Cruz Mendiola. Norma De La Cruz. Lavinia Cuambo. Olga Damatrev. Angelica Figueroa Soto. Leve Fredriksdotter Bremo. Christian Garcia.
Thank you, Samaria. You see, to all the graduates, when you came to DCC, your minds were not as developed as they are today. But the expert tutelage of your instructors molded your minds to the extent that your experience and learnings have given you new identities. Your minds are so developed that they can be used to resolve some of the problems facing us today, or quite frankly, they can also be used as a weapon against humanity. So I charge each and every one of you to use your minds for the advancement and development of humanity. Class of 2017, you are dismissed. Please remain seated until the guests on stage have left, led by Dr. Eddington.